Robert, how close is this team to turning the corner, and do you feel you or this team has lost any swagger? And lastly, your reaction to Fred Smoot saying he sees that you're a brat at times and he doesn't get the same vibe from you that he does from Luck and Wilson.
For the team, I think we're real close, and we can see it on the tape. There's a lot of good things on the tape. No one wants to be sitting here 0-3, so that's not a good thing for us. It's not who we are as a team, and I think the swagger that you're talking about, it's hard to have that swagger sitting at 0-3, but I don't think the team has lost its sense of confidence. We know how close we are. We know we can turn it around, and we're built to get out of this hole just like we were last year. And then with anything that anybody else says, I mean, that's just stuff you got to ignore.
What kind of growth are you shooting for, and what comfort and strides do you feel like you made individually and as an offense this past week?
As an offense, I think we're better on third down. We had a lot more execution. I thought everybody played a lot better. We just didn't get the victory, and that's what matters at the end of the day. You had to win, and we didn't do enough to win the game. We did enough to stay in the game, but not enough to win. And I think that's a key focus for us. We just got to make the plays that are there. Make the plays that are there, and if it's not there, try to do something and make a positive play. So from that standpoint, I thought we all did a lot better.
What led to the improvement on third down, you think?
Like I said, I think it was just better execution. You got to make the throw, you got to make the catch, we got to pick up the blitz. We just had a lot of high points on third down that were good for us, to where it was a normal, third down conversion rate for us at least. And we just got to continue that execution, and realize that it takes 11 guys on offense, and everybody's taking responsibility.
Now that it seems like you've turned the corner, working towards more complete games, when you look back at the offseason, I guess the documentary, the All In for Week 1, if you had to do that stuff over again, would you have done it differently, I guess, to communicate the full nature of the process that was involved?
I don't think we would have. I think the fact of the matter is this comes with the territory of being a quarterback in the NFL. When we don't have success, there's going to be criticism. You got to be able to stand tall. Look the criticism in the face, look that adversity in the face, and let it know that you're not going anywhere. And that's what this team has to do, and that's what we're going to do. So I don't think that's necessarily an issue. I think you have success. Look at a guy like Peyton Manning. He's a great quarterback. He's a guy that you look up to. He's done a lot of great things in this league, and he has a documentary, and he's going off this year. No one criticizes that. And that's just it goes with the territory. If you have if you struggle a little bit coming out of the gates, everyone's going to look at that and criticize it. You just got to be able to face that.
Robert, you guys, I think 22 snaps under center the other day. How much of that, and just getting more familiar with the drop back game, is related to taking the stress off the knee?
I don't think that's related at all. I think it's just about what the game plan is that week, whether under center or in the shotgun.
Mike said the other day that you were going to work on your sliding. Have you done that in practice this week? And does the knee brace and the knee, does that have anything to do with the mechanism of getting down face forward or legs first?
I think the problem is I'm not a great slider, should I say. I know how to slide. I don't know how to baseball slide, and I think that's what they're talking about. But there's just more of an emphasis on sliding feet first as opposed to going forward, since that rule is in place. And it protects you as a quarterback going backwards, going feet first. So that's what you got to do. So, just make a mental note of that and just try to slide feet first.
Robert, you mentioned earlier the word hole, talking about 3 and 6 last year. What about the hole you keep digging yourselves in the first half? How surprised are you that's happening? What can you guys do to change that? Because that seems to be what's really changing your game. You're having to throw the ball so much because you're behind so early and by so many points.
Yeah, we talked about the first 2 games enough, I think, over the past couple of weeks. And, the past game we played against Detroit, we weren't in a hole going into the second half. We were down by 3. So I think we put ourselves in a position to win the game, and we just didn't do it. So I think that's a positive to build off of. You want to be leading at halftime. You don't want to be in a hole, and that's what our focus is going against Oakland. We got to make sure that we're in a position to win the game.
This offense was having a great success last season. It seemed to always have personality, always seemed to know what it was. Its running game, the rebound game, and throwing off of that. This season seems to be a little more of the board in terms of the personality of the offense. How much do you think that has contributed to this?
I think it's more so us putting ourselves in bad situations, whether it be turnovers or penalties, getting in bad down and distances. It kind of makes you get away from some of the things you normally would do. And as long as we can eliminate those kind of things, then I think you'll see that personality come back out, and we'll be able to get Alfred some more touches, which I think he needs. He needs more touches, and we'll get those to him by staying out of those bad down and distances.
Ultimately, do you think it was the same personality as last season's offense, or something slightly
Each
different?
year is a little bit different. No teams are ever the same. Even though we had a lot of guys returning, you have to go with what you have that year and what defenses are playing you with, or playing against you that year, how they're playing against you that year. So it's just something you got to figure out on the fly.
Robert, with you running some of the quarterback pulls and even some of the bootlegs on Sunday for the first time this year, could you see the kind of impact that it had last year on the Lions defense, I guess comparatively, or was it not as big of a difference from what you remember from last year?
Getting outside of the pocket, definitely, defensive coordinators don't want that from a quarterback who can move a little bit. They want to keep you concealed inside the pocket. So we moved the pocket a little bit, kept the ball on one of the zone reads, and it does affect the defense. Safeties come up faster, corner play a little bit different, linebackers play a little bit different, and it opened up holes for us down the field. So it's something we definitely like to do, and something we got to do more of.
Robert, do you actually practice sliding at practice?
No, I did in training camp and everything.
Like, how does that actually work? We've never seen that. Like,
you basically run up to a defender and you slide. But
it's not baseball sliding. Right?
It's harder. It's easier to slide with football pants on. The slickness of the pants. I know I'm going a little too deep here, but the slickness of the pants helps you slide. But when you have shorts on and stuff like that, it's a little less conducive to sliding on a practice field. But I have.
I mean, this sounds like weird, but like in the off season, would you you hang out with athletes in town occasionally. Would you ask one of the nationals to help you learn how to baseball slide? Is that something you would ever even consider, or is that like a wacky idea?
I mean, if Bryce wants to do that, I'm definitely up for that, Bryce. So, yeah, we can do that if you want to, Brady. That is wrong. That is wrong. I did not say that. It was him.
Robert, I'm curious if this is one of the more trying starts to a season for you, not just because the team's not winning, but because you're constantly under the microscope. And how do you think it's been, and how do you feel about it, and how you've handled it?
It's adversity, and it is one of the more trying things you have to go through. But you have to know where your faith is, and I have a lot of faith in this football team. A lot of faith in my teammates, coaches, faith in God, and He's going to bring us through this. And all we have to do is do our part. So as long as we show up here every day with the right attitude, I mean, no one's going to feel sorry for us in the NFL. No one's going to come pat us on the back and say, hey, here's a win. We have to go out and take it. So, all that stuff being said, I think everybody has the right attitude. You still have to go out and enjoy life. And we want to start winning. And it starts this week against Oakland. So we go into this bye week with a good feeling and come out of it, ready to go on a tear. Yeah, I mean, it's just part of the process. It's part of being a quarterback in the NFL. Things are going to happen. You're going to have to deal with the scrutiny and be able to stare it in the face and overcome it. And that's just what it is. I mean, there's nothing else to say about that. You still try to go out and have the fun that you know how to have, playing the game that you love and that you got to do.
You threw the ball 50 times the other day. You threw the ball 50 times once at Baylor. How comfortable did you feel doing that? I know you've mentioned wanting to be a pocket passer, but how did that feel?
I don't think anyone would expect us to throw the ball over 40 times the first 3 games of the season, but it's not anything that I'm not comfortable with. I just know that a lot of times when you get into that range of throwing the ball, it's not conducive to winning, and we did that to ourselves. We got down and we had to throw that many times in those first couple of games. So, I mean, if you throw 50 times and it's just a part of the game plan, then that's great. But we got to make sure that we limit that and really work our game plan all the way through the game.
Robert, hardly.
You in these last couple of weeks?
My dad? I mean, you just got to keep playing. Have fun. Don't look at anything, and that's what you got to do. Whether it's good or bad, you got to make sure you block all that stuff out. Don't read what people are saying and move on. So that's the advice that he's given me, and just keep pushing forward, fight on, because that's the only thing that we know how to do. We know how to keep fighting.
Have you guys had a lot of talks?
No, not a lot of talks, but I mean, I talk to my dad every day, so.
Robert, hardly a conversation or an interview goes by here where someone doesn't reference 3-6 last year, and we pulled it out and won 7. But also hear a lot about you can't rely on something that happened last year happening again. I'm wondering about the line you walk between those two, saying we've done it before, but it just doesn't happen every year. And as a leader of the team, how do you?
Yeah, I think the line you draw of that is not to relax. Don't look at it as, hey, we did this last year, we can get out of this hole. You look to that as a sense of confidence, like we know what this team's made of, we know what we can do. But you don't look at that and relax and say, hey, we can just keep on losing, it'll be all gravy. That's not the way you approach it. You use that as confidence so that you can build on towards the next week, and don't lose that swagger that we have. And I think the team's ready. Everybody's disappointed in the way that we played, and it's the only thing we can do is change that on Sundays. I can't change it up here. I can't tell you guys any secrets about what's going to happen or how we're going to do it. We just got to go do it.
Robert, so much of the coverage of this team is all about one player, and I noticed that you, before the game, I guess against Philly, were in the huddle beforehand and said it's not about one player. It's about you and you and you. Why is that an important message, and how does it affect the entire franchise that so much of what's being talked about is you?
Yeah, I mean, I always try to make sure my teammates understand that, being a quarterback in this league, there's going to be a lot of attention on you as a player, and I want them to know that I don't think that way. I know that it's not all about me, because the criticism is going to come to me. When we play well, the praise is going to come to the quarterback, and that's just how it is. I want them to know that I don't believe that. I know it's not on me. I know it's about them and about what we can do to win the games. So that's why I said that, because everyone wanted to paint that Monday night game as my comeback. And, yeah, it's the first game back, but I wanted them to know that it wasn't just about me. It's about us going out there and winning. And that's what we got to get back to. We got to get back to us winning football games, and that's what we got to do against Oakland.
How do you think it affects the mindset of those other 52 guys that so much of the attention is constantly on you?
I think sometimes, especially in training camp, when we had to deal with the fans and everything out there at practice, a lot of those guys enjoy it because I'm the one out there signing autographs for an hour after practice every day, and they get to go in and do whatever they want to do. So they have fun with it, and they poke and prod at you, but it's all in fun. So I don't know if it bothers them at all, but I just want them to know that I don't believe that. I don't believe what everyone else is out there is saying, that it's all me, that it is about us.
Robert, how would you describe your confidence level in your, game-breaking playmaking ability, and mentally, what kind of work that it takes to still believe when you're struggling?
You just got to believe in yourself. You got to trust your preparation. I just can't say it enough times. You go out throughout every week, you watch the film, you break it down, you know your plays, you know your reads, you know everything, and you got to go out there and play. And if things don't go your way on one play, you got to move on and clear it. And that's what you have to do. You have to make the plays that are out there. And then when it comes to playmaking ability, you just got to go out there with a clear conscience every play and try to make the best play you can.
You've said a couple times in the past you don't face the opposing quarterback, but Terrell Pryor, coming out of the same high school class, you probably went to some of the Nike combines and stuff together. How well do you know him, and what do you think about the way he's played so far this year?
Me and TP, we know each other. I don't know if you'd say we were best friends or anything like that, but we know each other, and got to see each other grow. Him at Ohio State, me at Baylor, and seen him. Glad he got a shot there in Oakland, but I said it earlier today. It's once we step on that field, it's not about me and him. It's about us versus the Raiders, and that's what we got to do.
Robert, there was a national report the other day by one of the major networks that you told the coaches you wanted to run less read option. Is that true?
It's not true.
Thank you.